Hi, my name is Jason Osborn. I'm your instructor for the beginning fly tying class here at Northwest Flyfishing Outfitters. Let me thank you for taking our class, and let me show you how to tie some really effective flies that you can use right away, and you'll be able to learn different steps that you'll be able to apply to about 98% of the flies out there. All the flies share similar steps. You'll be using different materials and different colors. But with these 6 flies, you'll be able to tie about 98% of the flies out there, and you'll be able to just look at a fly and know how it's tied, and pretty soon you'll be able to know what all the materials are off the top of your head. Alright, before we get started, we're going to talk a little bit about the tools we'll be using in this class. The most important tool, first and foremost, is a bobbin. This holds your thread, and it gives you something to grab onto other than the thread alone, so you can wrap it around the hook. Also, it adds weight, so when you let go of your thread to grab other materials or whatever you need to do on your fly, it doesn't unravel on you. So very important. And the key to selecting a bobbin is to make sure it has a ceramic tube. If it has just a standard metal tube, it will end up putting grooves into the tip, your thread will, and it'll cause your thread to break, which can be really frustrating. So it's important to have a really good quality bobbin for fly tying, and they'll last, forever if you get a good one. Second, it's a good pair of scissors. A couple different kinds. Dr. Slick makes probably my favorite scissors. These have a curved jaw. These are just straight. These are carbide. They last a long time if you buy good scissors. I've had these here. These are the carbide scissors. I've had them for a couple years and I haven't had to resharpen them yet. And the curved tips are pretty nice to get into really tight areas. So a couple different pairs of scissors is key. Next is a bodkin. This is basically just a needle, but you'd be surprised on how much you actually use this thing, from applying head cement to picking out fibers. And then on the end is a half hitch tool, and we'll see how to use that in class. But it's kind of a dual purpose tool, very important. You'll find all sorts of ways to use this thing. Hackle pliers. These grab the tips of your hackle. There's a bunch of different kinds of hackle pliers, but that way it doesn't slip out of your fingers, and it gives you a nice sturdy tool to hold on to as you're winding your hackle. Whip finisher. This is how you tie the whip finish knot at the very end of the fly to make sure it's nice and secure. This is just a half hitch tool by itself. There's 2 different sizes on here. Not necessary if you have a bodkin with one on it, but it can be nice for smaller flies. This is for like size 14s and 16s. And a hair stacker. You put your hair in here, you tap it, and it evens up the tips. When you pull it out, the tips are there waiting for you all even, and I'll show you how to use that. And the last is a dubbing twirler. This is not necessary, but the more you get into fly tying, the more useful you'll find this. You can make dubbing loops, and this one actually spins and creates a rope with dubbing for high build. It's not something you're going to use for really skinny bodies, but something if you want a lot of mass to it, or you want it really spiky. This does the job really well.